Nurses they're absolutely the backbone of every piece of the delivery of care. Everything starts and stops with the nurse, and the functioning of a hospital is all driven through the nurse. Patient care is delivered through the nurse. It's the nurse that will sit at the bedside and be at the bedside and intimately know everything that's happening with the patient to ensure that the patient gets the best possible care. And if there is one thing that could break down in that whole system, and if it were to be the nurse, that could be the whole ending of care as we know it. And that's how important and how vital they are to the delivery of healthcare in this country. The majority of work that we've done has been in the realm of safe patient handling and movement. And in an 8-hour shift, the studies show that the average nurse lifts 1.8 tons. It is physically a job that people are not aware of how physically demanding of a job it is to be a nurse. And so we, number one, take a look at the external work environment that the nurse operates in. And then we also take a look at the inside, okay? So what kind of food am I eating? How am I exercising? And because if you ask most nurses or doctors, and they'll tell you and they know what it is to be done. So we know up here how I should be eating or what I should be putting in my mouth, how I should be exercising, yet does it translate into action? So one of the tools and techniques and strategies that we come out of this with is translating what we know into what we do and creating an environment where it's not just knowing about something, it's about doing something different in our lives. When Zoe was born and she was only 12 hours old roughly, and the doctor had come into the room and had told me at that moment that number one, she had Down syndrome, and number two, she had a heart defect that was going to require surgery within the first 6 months of her life. And two things which nearly destroyed me. And it was at that moment, the nurse's name, her name was Susan, came into the room after the doctor had left, and I was crying and I was absolutely broken and destroyed. And the nurse came in and she sat with me, cried with me, and connected with me. And it was at that moment that I realized how powerful that interaction was. And nurses have those opportunities with people. They have those opportunities to connect with us at their most sensitive moments. And it matters how they show up. It matters if their hearts are available. It matters every part of what they bring to their job, because it's not a matter of if these things are going to happen in our lives, of losing someone or having something traumatic happen. It's a matter of when. And the truth is we want to ensure that the nurses are empowered to be everything that we probably will need them to be in those moments. My passion behind starting this really culminated in the fact that we really had an opportunity to provide tools and techniques and strategies that not only supported the nurse, and we'd done such a great job in the physical realm, yet there was so much work left to be done because of all the stresses that nurses experience, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, socially, spiritually, and that we could then employ other strategies and techniques that could support the nurse. And because it made such a difference when the nurses showed up full and 100% as far as what patient care looked like and what was the patient experience. And it was the nurse that was ultimately responsible for creating the patient experience.